In photography, there's no other brand quite like Leica, a camera brand that some see as being the peak of luxury photography gear, hell, the peak of photography gear in general. With excellent color science, a storied history, and superb build quality, there's no wonder why these German camera manufacturers have been able to develop such a cult-like following over the years. On the other hand, we have 7 Artisans, who is on the opposite end of the spectrum. Rather than being a luxury photography brand, 7 Artisans has been making some of the cheapest and most affordable lenses that are out there today. They also lack Leica's over a century-long history, 7 Artisans having started just in 2016, less than a decade ago. However, they are similar in one way. They both produce manual focus prime lenses. This is the 7 Artisans 35mm f1.4, aka one of the cheapest new lenses you can buy for any camera system, costing brand new just $69. And this is the Leitz Wetzlar Summieron f2.8 35mm, one of Leica's very first, or at least early, M-mount lenses. Prices fluctuate on this lens, but you can pretty consistently find it for around $1,000 US, which makes this lens almost 15 times more expensive than the 7 Artisans lens. Holding this lens for the first time, I was immediately impressed by the build quality. Even 50 plus years after it was originally made, it still feels amazing. With an aperture ring that clicks on each rotation, a very well dampened manual focusing ring, and a metal housing that I think looks amazing. When people say that Leica has a luxury feel to it, for the first time, I understand. Switching gears to 7 Artisans for a moment, comparing it to the Leica, the 7 Artisans certainly does feel cheaper. However, I'm actually surprised by it. It's small and fairly heavy, which gives it a substantial feeling. Compared to the Leica, the 7 Artisans has a clickless aperture and a manual focusing ring that still feels well dampened, however it actually moves in the opposite direction of the Leica. It also has a metal housing, however not to the same quality as Leica. Something this lens does have, which the Leica does not, is that f1.4 aperture, letting in a lot more light, as well as a much shorter minimum focusing distance. The difference in minimum focusing is because the Leica was originally made for rangefinder cameras, which inherently have a longer minimum focusing distance. It is also at this point that I want to address that I am adapting the Leica lens to Fujifilm, which does mean I am adapting a full-frame lens to APS-C. Keeping that in mind, let's take a closer look at the images coming out of both of these lenses. I am honestly surprised by the similar quality that we are getting from both of these lenses, which I both think is a huge testament to Leica in how they have managed to keep a lens looking good even 50 plus years after it's originally released, and it is a testament to 7 Artisans, showing just how far budget lenses have come over the years. The Leica lens does have a different look to it than the 7 Artisans, with distinctly cooler tones. I think that this is especially noticeable when you compare skin tones in an image. If what you're after is background blur, then it is hard to argue with the f1.4 and the shorter minimum focusing distance of the 7 Artisans. Overall, in the end, I think both of these lenses have their place. The Leica lens, with its image quality, luxury feeling, and history, albeit at a cost, and the 7 Artisans offering a much more budget-friendly option, albeit while maintaining a surprising level of quality. Either way, trying out both of these lenses was a lot of fun, and I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.
Leica.